Got a little hump here where I reshaped the body. That's also kind of an awkward corner right there, but it was kind of a last minute thing. And probably could have been planned out a little better, but that's the way it went. Here's my number 5. This is what happens when your power screwdriver goes dead. We're stuck in the place. That's fine.
The black finish on the back of the base was just an earlier test to see what the wood would look like.
If you've never worked with Polonia before, it's a very, very soft wood.
I did round over the edges on the table router, but then I've gone in and reshaped it a few times, and I'll probably go back and round it over again. In one of the Facebook building guitars with CNC groups, somebody asked, is there any way where we don't have to sand? I said 90% of what we do is sanding, and then we laughed and laughed. This is just really kind of rough shaping. I'm using probably 150 grit paper here, I don't remember, just to get the rough smooth things out the way I want them, and then I'll go back in later and get it nice and smooth. I'm feeling for lumps and bumps with my thumb. That's the best way to find out if you have a little deviation somewhere, because you really can't see it. As soft as this wood is, the grain is actually quite a bit harder than the rest of it, and you end up with these little deviations, which are hard to get out. Took me a little bit of time to get it all nice and smooth.
So, here's where we left off. About a week at least went by. I was sick. And when I did some more work, I just didn't feel like doing a video of it all. But the pick guard is fit. it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. Had to be the end of the neck had to be cut off, and the that had to be all fit in once everything was together. It's kind of a puzzle. I'll probably be redoing the pick guard because I don't like the gaps over here, but I can use several things as a guide. And I decided to slap some stain on the body just to see what it's going to look like. And now I think I'm going to level the frets. And the next thing up is making the pickups.
There was a number of things that didn't get filmed, one of which was making the pick guard. I designed the pick guard in Adobe Illustrator and printed it out on paper and cut it out to see how it fit. This was before reshaping the cutaways. I then made a pattern from MDF and used that to cut out the plastic and put a bevel on it. You can see that the neck pocket was not yet cut out. Here I'm cutting plastic slightly larger than the final shape. I also had to add some wood to the control cavity. In the end, we ended up with this, the final product.
A little final sanding on my very messy workbench, which I'll clean up soon. But almost kind of looks cool this way. See, an extremely soft wood. You can still see the pencil marks where I drew around from the pick guard. But once I get it sanded smoother, the whole idea is to have it looking open grain and kind of rustic. I'm gonna make it black. So as soon as I'm done sanding a bit more, then I'm gonna put on some finish. So I painted the body, which I may or may not have filmed, but I want to get more of the grain showing, and I'm going to cover up the parts there. So I'm using a wire brush you would use for a file, and I'm filing away the grain. Which you can maybe see, makes it look like that. I'm gonna do this just with a paper towel, so I'm not putting too much finish on, because it kind of obscured filled all the grain in with the brush.
Initially, I painted the body with a paintbrush, and it was just way too much finish on it, and it really obscured all the grain. So I sanded it all off, which is what you're looking at here, and then did it over again. This is a satin finish polyurethane stain combination.
You can see you can see all the grain, which is what I wanted. It's not real smooth. This is a semi-gloss. I might have liked it if it was a little flatter, but yeah, this will do. I'll do the sides. I don't care about the sides so much. You know, part of your sides are always end grain. I guess we'll let this dry. Oh, there's a big blob I didn't get. Don't want that. We'll let this dry, and then I can turn it over and do the back. I think that looks lovely. Whoops. Tripping over stuff. As is tradition. It's the other things. So here's a little quick and dirty jig I threw together to drill the hole for the electrosocket. So we'll see how this works. I plotted out where it's going to go. I just have to eyeball that through here. And I'm going to clamp it down, and we'll see how we do. And we're all clamped down now, and let's see what we got.
For such a soft wood, sometimes it's surprisingly hard to drill through from certain angles. Also, I've had these Forstner bits since the 90s, so they might be a little dull, but they're not that bad. See how far we're in there. Not at all. It's very strange. Definitely need some new sharper bits.
Probably not that much. Well, that's about as deep as we can go. Let's see what we have. Oh, that's a very nicely drilled hole. I can finish the rest of the way with the drill. See how our electrosocket fits in. That's very nicely done. I'm quite happy with that.
I just got this drill press table, and I haven't really messed around with it much. And these little T-slot clamps are really fiddly, and I'm probably doing it wrong, and I probably should have practiced first. But hey, you know, that's the way it goes.
Almost all the way through.
I'll drill the rest of the way from the back so I don't get any tear out. And here's how it looks with some hip shot tuners. In our next installment, I will be fabricating an aluminum control plate and nut. Then it's time for the pickups. No, really, I mean it this time, honest. See you next time, and thanks for watching.